Hey there, this is Katherine Cartwright. Welcome. I am sharing a cute Fold It from Stamps of Life. This is the Sea Turtle Fold It Club that just came out for July 2023. It's this adorable sea turtle in the Fold It shape, so it's a shaped card. You got some dies here, and then it also includes 2 stencils in this kit. So cute. So you've got one that lets you stencil the back of your turtle. There are 3 different patterns, and then there's some stencil shapes for the legs or the back, however you want to use them. And then there is one that has waves and kind of some squiggly lines that you could use to help create an ocean or water scene. So today I'm going to spend some time using these Tricolour Aqua markers. I'm pulling out a couple of them. I'll link the colors in the description. Stamps of Life has several of these, I think 3 or 4 packages of them. So it's just kind of showing you what comes in the box. You've got, there's an information sheet included that's got some color theory in there, so you could spend some time learning how to use these markers. They have 3 colors per pen, and so each package has 9 colors. I am using watercolor paper here. And you can see I've got my water brush, and I'm just laying down that first color and moving this all over my paper. I love to use water brushes. I do have a little bowl that I will use sometimes, but I just tend to always pull out the water brush. Usually when I watercolor, a lot of times I am using a finer, tip on my brush because I'm going to do an image or something like that. But this one I'm just using a little bit of a larger brush with my pen. I've got a bunch of these. I've had them for years, and they work great with spreading the water and the ink and the color. And so I've just went ahead and added a couple more of those other colors, and I'm just adding some more water here. I usually keep a towel or a little like microfiber cloth on hand when I'm watercoloring. That way, if I get a little too much water on there, I can kind of soak it up and it doesn't pool everywhere. I'm going to take my heat tool here and dry this a little bit. Normally, I really like to let my watercolor panels or images dry on their own. I think they just look better. I don't know if that is really a true thing, but just to my eye, I tend to just kind of let them do their thing. But I wanted to move ahead with this in the video, and so I went ahead and put a little heat on it. Now I've gone back and I've got a little bottle that sprays water droplets, and I have added this onto the paper, and then I'm using a paper towel to pull some of that color off, and I love the way that that looks. I wanted to do a couple of more of these, I'm calling them panels, my backgrounds I should say here, just using some of the different colors. I wanted to have a green one, kind of an earthy tone one, and then I'm going to have a colorful one. So these are just a few of the markers that I pulled out to use, and I'm kind of doing them at different angles to get a different look with my turtle. And I will say we saw a sea turtle recently in the ocean. We were on vacation and we saw one, and his back was kind of brown. It was covered with like a brown seaweed, and so he looked more like what you're seeing here in front of you. His back did. So he was so cute though, but he dove very quickly, so we saw him for just a second. But it's a big thrill to see a big ocean full of turtles. Okay. So I, like I said, I've got that cloth there, so if I've gotten too much water on one section, I can pull that off, and then I will let that one dry, and we'll see what we get when it finishes. But just a fun, quick, and easy. If you've seen some of my videos, you know I enjoy watercoloring because it's very forgiving, and I like the way that it looks too, especially for backgrounds. So I'm excited to see how these little turtles will turn out. And I will say on the turtle size, it's an A2 sized card when you finish cutting it. So that is, it's going to fit on a card that is 5.5 by 4.25. So I just wanted to mention that it will fit in a standard envelope. Unless you add a bunch of extra little fun things like huge sentiments or something on the side, you may have to go to a 5 by 7 envelope. But for the most part, this should fit into an A2 sized envelope. So I added some of that purple and I pulled it down, and then I've come back here and I'm going to add a little bit of pink. I wanted to have a fun, colorful turtle for one of the three that I'm going to make. And I'm almost finished there, and then we can start doing some die cutting and assembling of this cute, cute card. And I'm going to pat off a little bit of that pink and a little bit of that purple. Okay, everything is dry, and I am going to run one of these little turtles through my die cutting machine just to show you what you get when you do cut it. It's super, super cute, and you can paper piece these if you want to. So that means that they're little notches. You can see how the little turtle back is kind of popping out. So you can cut along those lines. It's very easy to do, and then you can add the color back in. Okay, so I've got my three cut out. I did use one of the dies that's included in the set to cut his back on this one, but I didn't want to keep all of his turtle shell in there. So I'm going to cut at the little notches to get his back open, because I want the watercolor pattern to show through. So I'm going to take some sharp scissors here and just kind of nip those little edges out, the little notches. And then I have this really cute back left. So cute, very quick and easy. I'll just add some glue to this one, and then I can adhere that to his little turtle, his little shell. Okay, super, super cute. And I used chocolate paper, I should say, on this turtle back. So you could go back and cut a different color if you wanted to of that same die cut and add it back in. So if you wanted to do green or something like that, you could add that, or gold. You could kind of jazz up your turtle. Now I wanted to take a second here and add a little bit of shape, little patterns onto his legs here. I'm using chocolate ink again, and I'm just going to run that over my my turtle legs. And on these little shapes, you can do them however you want to. I don't think there's really a one that fits better on one leg or the other. You can also use these on the back if you wanted to. So I'm just kind of moving these around, and I'm going to do each of the legs. So I've got my brush here, and I'm going to ink that up, and then I will move on to the back of his legs. But I love the stencil detail. I love stencils because they are so quick and easy, and they give you a lot of bang for your buck, so to speak. You don't have to die cut. You can just quickly add some texture and interest to your project using the little stencil. Okay, so I noticed that my little leg, the back leg, I did not make dark enough. I was too quick on it because that leg's a little bit darker in the back. So I'm just going to come back here with my brush and make it a little bit darker, and then you can really see the pattern on his leg. So cute. All right, so I'll come back and finish him in a little bit, but I am going to take a second to work on the bright purple and pink one. I've got some texture paste here from Stamps of Life that I wanted to spend a minute with, and I have some re-inker. This is Guava, a bright pink re-inker, and I'm going to blend those together to get a custom color of texture paste. I wanted to use this skinnier little seashell. I don't know what you'd actually call that little pattern for the back of his back. I thought it was so cute, and so I wanted to add that with some pink on the back for a little bit of texture. So I'm just going to get this settled, squared away onto my mat, and now I can add that directly to my pattern. Now I decided to add texture paste because I wanted that dimension, and it's not super wet. If you add a lot of water onto that watercolor paper, it could potentially move some of your the color that you've already put on there. So this is a nice dry medium. It's not too wet. It is wet, but it is not as wet as some other mediums you could use. So it actually looks really, really good, and it doesn't move the color that's already on that paper. So cute. All right, so I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to come back here with one more of the patterns from that stencil, And I'm just going to add some artichoke to darken up a little bit of his shell. You can still see that fun pattern where we spray the water on there coming through. And I love the way this sweet little turtle turns out. Okay, that's all it takes. Just making sure that I've got it dark enough where I want it to be. And I'm going to darken that one side just a little bit more. I love artichoke. It's one of my favorite greens. And there he is. How cute. Love it. So I'll let that dry, and then I can work on the legs. So again, I'm repeating the same process I did on the other one, the little brown one, where I'm adding some texture to his legs, some little dots to his legs. I remember we went to, many years ago, we went to Key West, and we went to Dry Tortugas, which is a national park down there. You have to get on a boat from Key West and drive down there. We wanted to do some visiting down there. It's really pretty remote. And on our way down there, we were on this nice sized boat, and there were tons of sea turtles, and they were diving left and right. I've never seen so many sea turtles in my life. And this little green one reminds me a lot of those cute little fellas. And they were quick. They're big and they are quick. So anyway. All right. So I wanted to show you quickly how to make the actual shaped card. So on the back of the die, it says fold here, place fold here. So I'm just folded my paper in half, and I'm leaving a little bit of space at the top so I will have a hinged card. And you'll see in just a second that when I run it through my machine, there will be a little bit of the edge left, and therefore the card will be folded. Look how cute that is. Now I did want to cut one more piece of that outline die, the card base, because I want to cover up that little notch there. You don't have to do that step. I just usually do that with my fold-its because it just gives it a little bit more of a finished look. So I will start assembling these. I'm going to add some glue to the back of my watercolor piece, my turtle, and then I'll add it onto that solid piece, and then that will go onto the card base. And making it very quick and easy to put these shaped cards together. You could stamp a sentiment on here or add a word die or something like that. I think it'd be cute to stamp some stuff in the little shell openings. If you had some smaller stamps, you could add those into your card. And then that will go onto my card base. And look at that sweet, sweet little shaped turtle. So cute. But I do need to add an inside. I'm just going to trace the outline of that die that I used to cut the back of the turtle, and then I am going to cut around there. I wanted to have somewhere to write a sentiment, stamp a sentiment, or write a message inside of my turtle. So I decided to create a piece for inside using some white cardstock that'll show up nicely against that chocolate. I'm just going to erase any little pencil lines that I may have missed, and then this will go inside of my turtle, and when I'm ready to mail it, I will have somewhere to write a message. Super cute. So that's just a quick and easy way if you need a shape for inside, something like this, you know, that's a little bit of a different shape. You can just draw around that outline. Okay, now I need to finish the eye on this one. So I've just cut a little piece of chocolate. I'm going to run that through my machine to get the little eye to come out. And then I can add that to my turtle to finish this one off really quick and easy. And again, it's got that little kind of notch, so you can just trim that out and then add that to your card. I did find a little easier way than the way I'm doing it that you're seeing me. I should have just cut straight across the bottom where that kind of notch was, and it came out perfectly. I kind of went around and it ended up leaving a little bit of a little edge on the side that I didn't like. Right there you can see on the bottom right, the eye looked a little not quite right. So I just suggest, if you have this die, to just cut it across, kind of straight across the bottom of the eye, and then it will fit just right. Add a little bit more glue to fix that, and use my pokey tool to get the eye into place. And there he is. How cute. Super, super cute. All right, so I wanted to take a minute here using this awesome stencil to create some waves. I wanted to create kind of an ocean scene here. So I'm just using Pool and Seaglass ink. And I was thinking I was going to add the lines, but I'm going to wait to add those lines after I do some of my waves. So I just turn the stencil the other way. I'm going to use some of the Seaglass. So I'm just blending these two together as I go to kind of get a watery look, but maybe with some sun kind of streaming down. So I'm not spending too much time making it super, super solid. If you've ever been under the water, you can see the sunlight streaming through, and so it's not perfectly even in nature. So again, just turning that the opposite direction, and then I will switch to the Seaglass. The hardest part about this was just trying to pick the right color, paying attention to which color it was, but I could see that Pool is a little bit darker, so that kept me using the correct colors. And just using that brush again to add the next layer. This stencil is awesome. There are a lot of fun things you can do with this, I think. You could do all different colors. Very, very cute. I love the double edges on it, one on each side. And then I'll just come back when I reach the top of my card. I'm just going to take a little bit of Pool and brush that on there. And I love the way that turned out. I'm going to wipe off my stencil, the ends, because I want to come back with some of these little lines in here. And I will just quickly add those to my card. I'm just going to kind of keep them where they are. You could move the stencil and make your lines really, really close if you wanted to, just by moving them. But I'm going to leave it where it is, so it will just kind of fall where it is in the water, so to speak. And I'm using Sky on this one, so a little bit of a darker blue to show up against that ocean. All right, so I have this little shaker mix that a friend told me about. I believe I picked this up at Hobby Lobby. I've got some clear glue here from my craft stash, and I am going to add a generous amount of it to the bottom of this card. So this card is going to be a little bit 3D because I'm going to add these bigger pieces. It's kind of a shaker card. I think this stuff was in the jewelry section actually, but again, this friend told me about it, and I said, oh, that would be great for a card. So we're always finding things in other sections of the store that would work for card making. This would definitely be great for a shaker card. But I loved it because it has the shells and has these little gemstones, kind of little pearls and such. So I'm going to let that dry really well. And if some of it falls off, it's okay. You can also take your glue again and kind of just add little pieces in of the items if you miss some, if some fall off. But it actually is holding pretty steady. I'm very, very excited. But it is going to be a little bit more 3D. And so you'll have to either give it in person or maybe add it in a padded mailer. I did add my turtle, my little pink turtle here. Love the way that turned out. I stamped See You Soon from the Mermaid stamp set. And then I'm going to take 3 of these little shells from my shaker mix. And I'll try and link it if it may be on the website. Or if you have a store close to you, you could check it out. But I just loved this mixer, this mix of little shaker bits for summer. I thought it would be really cute with this little turtle. And who wouldn't want to see a seashore, the bottom of the ocean looking like that. Okay, so here are the turtles. I hope you enjoyed checking out the Fold It. If you're a Fold It member, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you had a favorite turtle, or if you have any fun memories of seeing a turtle in the ocean. Let me know. So thanks so much for watching, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.